We're talking about swing plane. I know this is a pain point for a lot of people because they're always searching to get the golf club on plane, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Getting the club on plane is very overrated. The golf club moves on a bunch of different planes and angles throughout the golf swing, and videoing it in 2 dimension from behind when you don't know what you're looking for, let alone from a body orientation or a physiology perspective of how you move, is somewhat overrated. So what I want to talk to you about right now is when you are looking for fixes and faults of your golf swing on video from down the line, what should you be looking for? And I'm going to talk to you about what I would look for with my students at a very basic level, and a couple of things that are really going to dictate like the shape of the golf swing. Okay. First and foremost is going to be setup. Okay. So when you set up to the golf ball, oops, let's get this ball in the zone for the quad. When you set up to the golf ball, are your hips over your ankles, or are they deeper than your ankles? Or are you like too far on your toes and your hips are out in front of your ankles? All of that matters because it's going to dictate how you pivot and move your body. Like typically from just a structure standpoint, what I want to see with my players is I want to see them get their hips over their ankles, because that's going to allow you to move consistently, and it's going to be a really good baseline for hitting good solid shots. Part two to that is width of stance. Okay, how wide do you stand? Well, I have the JJA Golf and Alignment Made Easy alignment mirror here. We use it in our schools for putting. I use it with my players for ball position and alignment as well, instead of utilizing an alignment stick. Because one thing that I can do with this is I have indicators on here that tell me where my feet need to be relative to the position of the golf ball. And also, when I'm using this, I can also go ahead and set up and look at and see the orientation of my shoulders. I can get close enough to see the orientation and the direction that I'm setting up my pelvis and my femurs at address, which is super helpful. And then I can see from first person, how my toe or my foot line is, right? So this is super duper helpful. And getting a good proper ball position, which is typically going to be anytime the ball's in the ground, like the width of a club head inside your left heel, is super important because that's going to help you control your swing direction. If the ball gets too far back, you're probably going to hit too far down and out at it. If the ball gets way too far forward, you're probably going to have a lot of linear movement, like side to side sway, kind of like an elephant, right? And then the third thing, like ultimately before you start moving the golf club, that's really going to affect swing shape and the plane that you swing the club on, or just the visual of how you swing the golf club, is your grip, right? So if I grip the club really weak, which would mean that my shoulders are rotated both this way. So my left shoulder would be externally rotated, my right shoulder would be internally rotated, and then I would grip the club really neutral. As I get my shoulders back neutral, that's going to get the face wide open, right? So it's important that you understand how to sort out your shoulders and organize those joints functionally as you grip the golf club, so that you can structure your golf swing somewhat neutral and control the plane. Like if I swing it, or if I grip the golf club this way with my left shoulder external, my right shoulder internal, I put my hands on the club, well, that club face is going to be wide open, and I'm going to have a tendency to want to like basically reverse pivot. I'm going to get steep, and then I'm going to back up and try and flip the golf club, typically to hit the golf ball. Well, it's ugly. It's not what I want, right? It's not what you want. Sure as heck isn't what anybody wants, I hope. Okay? So how I advocate for gripping the golf club would be like, let's hold the face neutral. Let's put your left hand on the golf club with your fingers perpendicular to your grip. And then I want the thumb joint and the heel pad in line on the top of the grip. From there, I typically advocate for my players to add the right hand from the playing position. And then from there, we have a relatively neutral grip with good shoulder orientation. And we can hit good, solid golf shots from there. Hopefully that start on target. And again, this is a video about swing shape, swinging it on plane, right? Don't fall into the trap. Like Victor Hovland doesn't swing the club on plane. His club goes a little bit inside. His hands go out. He hits down. Everybody's shape is a little bit different, but everybody's shape should be matching up with how you set up to the golf ball, how wide your stance is, how tall you are, the orientation of your pelvis, shoulder, rib cage positioning, how you grip the golf club. All of that factors in. It's like hygiene, but for your golf swing, right? And it's important to understand that we need to be super consistent so that our brain isn't playing Russian roulette every time we hit a golf ball. Our brain is like, oh, this is what I do. Boom, I'm going to hit my shot. And this is what I was talking about in some of the other videos. Golf isn't about big things. It's not vast. It's not grand. Golf is a bunch of little things that add up to big swings. And people that fall in love with the process are the people that get the most desirable outcomes. The people that are overly focused on big things, right? Everybody has the will to win. It's the will to prepare, right? I think it was Bear Bryant. Okay, so let's hit a couple more shots here. And I'm just going to talk about some wrist stuff at a very basic level for swinging the club on plane. Like this is one that I see often when I'm at the driving range. Okay, with my kids, I see people practicing this. Okay, so they're rotating the club this way. They're hinging it up because they think they go too much this way, that this is the answer. Well, that's not necessarily true. Like if you're whipping the club inside, it's probably because your shoulders get too far outside your toe line and you don't know how, and you probably grip it bad and don't know how to organize your arms. So adding more of this kind of rotation into your golf swing isn't going to be helpful. It's just going to make you struggle to control the depth of your low point and ultimately control the strike. You're probably going to hit the ball really short. You're going to find that when you do that, you early extend and add a ton of loft because you're building space up in your golf swing this way and just throwing the crap out of it. We don't want to do that either. All right. So to recap, let's talk about organization. Okay. Hips over the ankles. Okay. I want my shoulders on the, kind of right on the balls of my feet, or my armpits kind of on the balls of my feet. Okay. I want my hands just outside my toe line. Okay. So my hands are going to be like here. Okay. And then from there, really what I'm focused on going back is just making sure that I'm comfortable. My arms move relatively well from a lifting and dropping standpoint. And that's it. Like it shouldn't be that thought provocative. Like your shape is going to be your shape based on the fundamentals. If you lift and drop your arms enough and you pivot well and you grip it well and you set up to it well, everything's going to be fine. But your shape is going to be your shape unless you start changing some of these fundamental things that happen way before you start moving the golf club, right? Like tens of 15 seconds before you start moving the club when you're setting up to the golf ball, okay? Let's hit one more. Okay, that was flush. Again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to follow my channel, share this video with your friends, and please like the video. Hope you're having a great day.